Justin.
Yeah.
I just got one thing to say.
What's that?
How about them Cowboys, baby? All right. I'm going to leave this to the side.
I'm keeping mine on.
You keep your on? I'll keep mine on, too.
Heck yeah.
I'll go with you. I'm not a Cowboy at heart, but you know what? For this episode, I'll make an exception. So, Justin, in case you couldn't tell by our little intro, Bears got their first win of the season. How about that? How about them Cowboys? 31-17, the final score in Chicago. Bears move to 1-2. Ben Johnson gets his first win as a head coach, but more importantly, as the head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Yes.
Caleb and the boys have their first, I would say, complete and very good game on offense.
Yes.
Came against the vaunted Dallas defense, however. Before we get into kind of the nitty-gritty of everything, give me some of your overall thoughts, your feelings, your excitement level. What are you feeling after this game?
Well, Mike, I'll tell you what, Mike. Dak Prescott was in pristine condition, throwing those interceptions like he normally does. Jerry Jones believing that this is their season, and Cowboys fans are in shambles. But no, in seriousness, I told him before the show started I was going to do an accent, but I don't have my Stephen. How about them Cowboys? Let me tell you. No, Stephen A., don't sue us.
Yeah,
but
please.
I think overall it was a great feeling to feel a complete game, like you just said. It was from, I'm not going to lie, once it was halftime and we were leading up, even into the third quarter, I was like, I don't know. We've seen history repeat itself, but it just really seemed like the whole entire game we were in control. I think definitely, Rome Odunze, oh my gosh, I feel like he's going to have a breakout season. He's just been able to break many defenders and make Diggs look like a Walmart employee.
There was a cartoon banana peel that he slipped on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So overall, I just thought this game was it was complete all around. And this is the team that we wanted to see in the first two games, and I think definitely this could lead to some momentum going into our next week. So
yeah, you talked about Rome, and obviously we'll there's a lot to dissect with this game, but I don't know if you saw the stat, Justin, but the NFL's leading touchdown thrower is Caleb Williams, and its receiving touchdown leader is Rome Odunze.
Yeah,
is that going to stay after 17 games? I have no idea, but it's a good start to the game, to our season, 3 games in. My overall feelings is like, finally, this is the game we've been wanting to see. I know we're 3 weeks in, but that was a long 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was
a long 2 weeks. Yeah. It was a hard 2 weeks, and I think that this finally validates. This is the first thing that validates Ben Johnson being here.
Yeah, this is
the offense in his image. We saw what are some of the Ben Johnson staples? The trick plays. We saw the flea flicker. Excuse me. The ball, it felt like when DeAndre Swift tossed it back, the ball was in the air for about 15 seconds. That scared me. Yeah. But Caleb plucked it out of the air. He absolutely uncorked it. 60, I think they said it was 62 yards in the air on an absolute dime to Luther Burden.
Yeah.
My guy, Luther Burden, I said they need to get him more involved. Guess what? He had 100 yards. He had 100 yards. He had a touchdown. Made a huge play. You mentioned Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze has been reliable. I think Rome Odunze has 4 touchdowns in the first 3 games.
Crazy.
Which is really good. And I told you last year, Justin, this is a side tangent. There'll be a lot of side tangents today. This is the result when you get Shane Waldron up out of there. All right?
Yeah.
Because Shane Waldron was with Seattle in 2023. He left. Jackson Smith and Jigba had a great year last year. Now, Rome Odunze is without Shane Waldron. He's finally thriving. Now Shane Waldron's in Jacksonville. Guess who's having a bad year? Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
So I think he's just the wide receiver destroyer.
Yes.
So now that he's up out of Chicago, I think Rome is thriving. But
I agree.
No, a lot of good. There was a lot of good stuff in this game. The defense had 4 turnovers. We talked, Justin. One of the biggest keys to this game was going to be stopping CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah.
How are we going to stop CeeDee Lamb? What were we going to do? How are we going to shit the defense? And, literally right after we recorded last week, the news came out that Jalen Johnson was going to be out. He was going to be out for significant, if not the entire season.
Yeah.
Kyler Gordon missed. Jalen Jones missed. You're down 3 corners going up against CeeDee Lamb. What was going to be the solution? Well, he got hurt.
His ankles.
Were the solution, unfortunately. And to be clear, we don't root for injuries. We're not Packers fans. Sorry. That was a diss. But him getting injured was huge.
Yeah.
Truthfully. It was huge momentum swing in this game. George Pickens is good. He's not CeeDee Lamb.
No.
Let's be honest here. He's not CeeDee Lamb. And he had a good game without CeeDee Lamb, but the Cowboys desperately missed him. And lastly, I have to say, what brought me the most joy, not seeing Ben Johnson get his first win, not Caleb Williams having a great game, not seeing our defense step up to the plate. It was that we smoked that Matt Eberflus pack.
Yes,
we did. My gosh.
Yeah, we did.
I said it before the year. I said, if Matt Eberflus walks into Chicago and kicks our butt, I'm going to have to reevaluate what sports I watch. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
I was going to have to make some tough decisions. This show would have been canceled. I would have pulled us out of the air. But we didn't. It was the opposite.
Yeah.
It's like seeing your old best friend, like ex-best friend at like a high school reunion.
Yeah.
And, like you got a prettier girlfriend, you got a nicer car, you make more money.
Yeah.
And he has none of those things. It makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? It really just brings you joy in life to see that you're so much better than the person that you left in the dust.
Yeah.
And is that kind of an evil example? Yeah, it is. But I don't care. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But we would be remiss to mention, if we were talking about this game, Caleb Williams.
Right.
Caleb Williams had an all-time game.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and throw up those Caleb stats for you. 19 of 28, which is about 64% completion, 298 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. More importantly, Justin, 0 sacks.
Yeah.
First time, I believe, in his career. 142.6 passer rating. Justin, the last time Caleb threw 4 touchdowns, I was on the show painting my nails.
I know.
So take me through kind of how Caleb was able to do it, how he was able to dice up this Dallas defense, and what were your thoughts on Caleb's performance?
I mean, I thought Caleb played exceptional. I think definitely when you look at a quarterback who has potential and is confident, you're going to see a great result, and that's what we saw. I mean, from the flea flicker to getting DJ Moore wide open in the second half, there's so much that happened in that game that instilled in his confidence. I think that was something that he needed for himself to say, you know what, I can compete. Sure, it was Dallas. Sure, their defense isn't great, but they're an NFL team, and we have seen during this week of teams that were really, really good that lost to really bad teams. So this is the Packers. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we will.
It's a any given Sunday type of league, and you have to go out there I said that twice. You have to go out there and compete. So I definitely think the pass protection was flawless. Caleb didn't even get touched. There probably wasn't even a patch of grass that touched him.
When your quarterback exits the game with a clean jersey, that's how you know you did a good job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So shout out to our offensive line. That's how we spend all the money to make sure that Caleb gets protected. I'm hoping that kind of continues as we go deeper into the season. But I just thought, when Caleb Williams gets confident and he starts to make those throws and those touchdowns, I feel like he's unstoppable. I mean, to go out there and to just pretty much throw the passes that he did, I mean, man, this is a sign to come for sure.
Yeah, I think the marriage between him and Ben Johnson
starting to click.
It's starting to click a little bit. You could tell that they're, I think, more in sync with each other. Ben Johnson is developing that rhythm as a play caller, which that takes time. In Detroit, he was so good at it for so long because he's been with those guys for years. These are brand new players. It's a brand new scheme. It's a brand new quarterback, et cetera. So I think that marriage is starting to click a little bit. I saw a lot of complementary, football between the passing and the running and everything like that. A couple design runs for Caleb, which I think is something that a wrinkle they didn't have in the Detroit offense with Jared Goff, which he's using with Caleb. I think one of the biggest things for me and one of the most optimistic parts of this game was the Bears went on a 19-play touchdown drive.
That was ridiculous.
19-play touchdown drive. And it wasn't like we were getting, 15-yard completion, 20-yard run. It was like 4-yard run, 4-yard run, 5-yard pass, 4-yard run. And it was just sustained drives. And DJ Moore was joking about it after the game. He was like, dude, it was torture, going out there for 19 plays in a row, having to block and run routes and everything like that. But that is the type of offense that I love to see because as cool as the flea flicker was and as cool as, Roma Dunze going down the left sideline, really good teams are not going to give you those free opportunities. Now, good for the Bears for taking advantage of that. That's not a diss at all. But better teams will play tighter defense, and so those won't be as wide open.
Right.
That 19-play drive really, to me, was about ground and pound, was about being situational football, was about knowing where his outlet was. I was really impressed, and then obviously they capped it off with another Ben Johnson staple, which was going for it on 4th down. Much to the dismay of Tom Brady on the broadcast. And they capped it off. DJ Moore was wide open in the end zone, like you said. So very, very encouraging 19-play drive. I want to talk about the defense, though, for a second, Justin, as well.
Yeah.
They were down T.J. Edwards. They're down 3 of their top corners, Jalen Johnson, Jalen Jones, and Kyler Gordon.
Yeah.
Guys were getting banged up. What did you think of their performance yesterday?
I thought it was exceptional. I mean, like I said before, Dak Prescott is going to throw interceptions, so you would hope the Bears would be like, you know what? I think I might want to catch one of those. I thought Tyreek Stevenson was really great. I thought Montez Sweat was awesome. Also give a huge shout out to Tremaine Edmonds. I thought there's so many guys on the defensive end that really just showed up. Right, it doesn't matter if you're a starter or second string, third string. You go out there and you go compete. And I think from our brand new coaching that we've instilled in the off season, I think that's also been a huge help too, right? It's the next guy up mentality. You have to go out there and you have to play no matter who you're playing, no matter if they're good or bad. So I thought our defense was exceptional.
No, and I agree. Listen, when you win the turnover battle by 4, that's a good day.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good day. Dak Prescott threw 2 interceptions. Joe Milton, the backup quarterback, threw an interception. And then, obviously, on that first drive, Javonte Williams looked like he was going to break a 40-yard run. Tyreek Stevenson strips him right before he runs out of bounds. So, big plays like that. And, yardage-wise, the Cowboys had a lot of yards. Dak had 275 through the air. They ran for another 121. Gave up about 400 yards. But they caused Dallas to turn the ball over. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the key in the game is if you're going to give up a lot of yards, make those big plays, make those turnovers.
Yeah.
So we saw in the Vikings game yesterday, they had a lot of turnovers against the Bengals.
Yeah.
No, I agree. This is an encouraging day for the defense. Obviously, like we mentioned earlier, it helps when CeeDee Lamb plays 2 snaps, right?
Yeah.
That certainly helps. But I will say they did a good job regardless. Now, we got 1 or 2 more things before we go ahead and head out of here. We got to talk about our post-game quote.
For sure.
And I think this was something that's pretty sentimental. This is Caleb Williams. He said, to be able to have that moment for him and us, it's really important. It's important for us as a team and organization to be able to keep building the momentum and have this growth that we want to go on and this run that we want to go on. And that was Caleb Williams when he was asked about giving the game ball to Ben Johnson. Now, I think that he hit the nail right on the head. This is an excellent stepping stone for the Bears. This is a great confidence builder. Like you said, this is a great proof of concept of saying, hey, if we execute the way we're supposed to execute, if we do what we're supposed to do, if we practice this week. Because remember, Ben Johnson called him out a little bit in practice last week. He said, we're not practicing like a championship-level team.
No.
So, to me, Justin, that speaks volumes on, I think, the confidence that's going to be built from this win.
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely when you have a coach, and even in some of the interviews that they were going through yesterday, like Ben Johnson yells at his players, not because he just wants to yell at them, because he knows what their potential is. And sometimes if you're a really good coach, you don't want to be friends with you don't want to be friends with your players. It's more of a, hey, I'm the coach, you're the player. You're going to listen to me. I'm going to guide you to do the right thing because they're going to see more. Their perspective, they will be able to see more potential in you versus the potential you might be able to see in yourself. So, Ben Johnson was the perfect guy that we needed. Not a guy who's here to be your friend, but a guy who's here to be, the coach of this team.
Yeah. No, and there may have been 1 or 2, but I don't remember any procedural penalties this week.
No,
and that was an issue the first couple of weeks.
Yeah,
I don't think that there were any. I can look right now to see what the penalties were. Bears committed 6 penalties for 41 yards. So again, ideally you want to get that down, but I don't remember any really back-breaking penalties or drive killing or anything like that. So maybe they were few and far between. I do remember. I think we had a defensive holding, which might be the only exception to that. But a couple of other thoughts before we exit the game. I saw something, and I'm going to say this. I saw it on Twitter, and I don't know if it's true, but it is really funny. I don't think the Bears called a timeout yesterday.
Really?
And I think Ben Johnson did that to honor Matt Eberflus, who does not call timeouts himself.
Wow.
Like he did last year to get him fired. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
That would have been crazy.
I do have to, if we're being honest and we're being analytical, okay, I have to highlight one negative.
Yes.
There is one negative, and it's the running game for both the Bears and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Bears carried the ball 29 times for 87 yards. Ben is trying to get the running game going. He's trying to consistently, turn over. And we talked about that 19-play drive, and that was great. By and large, we ran the ball 29 times for 87 yards. 3 yards a carry. Not good.
No.
Dallas ran the ball 20 times for $121. 6 yards a carry. That's not good. We got to get better in that area on both sides of the ball. TJ Edwards on the defensive side will help that when he comes back.
For sure, yeah.
Offensively, Swift, you got to go, man. I think that's where we're at. But other than that, other than the running game, I thought, honestly, the Bears got lucky that they were so good on offense quickly.
Yes.
Because I think Dallas abandoned the run later on in the game. Obviously, like, you're down 2 scores in the second half. You're not going to be pounding the rock.
No.
But Dallas, I think, really gave up on the run. I think Javonte could have had, like, $120, $140 if they would have kept him on the ground. There was by the way, he looks really good this year. Can we be honest? Javonte Williams,
yeah.
I'm happy for him. He's dealt with injuries for a while, but Cowboys were running the ball really well, and because we were up so much, they kind of stopped and were in pass mode. But that was not the best. I won't lie to you, Justin.
No, yeah, it was not.
Yeah. So now I want to talk to you. I want to ask you a couple questions, kind of in the aftermath of this game. So now week 3 is over and done with. We're 1-2, heading into week 4. How much better does the season outlook look? That's English?
Yes.
I don't know. How much better does our season look going forward after beating Dallas and avoiding going 0-3?
I think 1-2 is a lot better than 0-3.
Absolutely.
And I definitely think, this instills the confidence in us to at least win our next game. I think, and we'll talk about it more in the preview, but I just think definitely I could see if we went up against like Detroit this game or Detroit next week, that it's like, but it's good to have that confidence. I think we can get 2 in a row. I think this is something that we can build upon, and in order to beat great teams, you have to beat teams that aren't so great, right? It's the NFL. They're all professional players. They all get paid millions of dollars for a reason. So I think definitely, the season outlook is better. And I think it'll definitely change a lot more if we can get the wins. If we can win the games that we were supposed to win.
Yeah. And I was about to say, like, I think you could make a good argument that the Vikings and the Lions are both better than us on paper, especially the Lions.
Yeah.
We are better than the Cowboys on paper. And we took care of business. So you could make the argument, if you're twisting it optimistically, and say, we won the game we're supposed to win.
Yeah.
We lost 2 games that we weren't supposed to win.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you would have liked to have won that Vikings game based on the way it went, yada, yada, but, whatever. Now, I want to ask you another thing, and I know we're going to talk more about next week, so we're not totally jumping over it, but say we win next week. We're 2-2. We're heading into the bye, which is week 5. It's really early bye.
Can we stop getting bye weeks?
Can we stop getting bye weeks week 5? This is crazy. But anyways, we win next week, hypothetically. Yeah. We're 2-2 heading into the bye. How good does that make you feel, Justin? To be 500 after what was a tumultuous, to say the very least, first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
To enter the bye week 500, what do you think that would do for this team?
I think it would make them feel confident. I know I said that before, but it would help them be able to maintain a confident offense. I think when we weren't able to score, I think when we weren't able to get the ball down the field, we weren't getting touchdowns and stuff like that. Caleb was getting sacked all the time. That really wears a lot on your ability to perform. So I think if we're able to go 500, we're able to go 2-2. We still might be 4th in the division, but hey, we're 500, right? I think you'll definitely see some of the unbeatens, the 3-0 teams fall off, or you may see a shocking loss in the next in that same bye week that we're not playing. So I think definitely it's big, right? We're 2-2, it's 500, but I think it's a big thing for us.
Yeah, no, I agree. And again, I just you would have dug yourself in such a deep hole if you were 0-3.
Yes.
Like, that's the problem. So just digging themselves out of that hole.
Fire Ben Johnson chain.
Right,
yeah,
right.
All
I mean, we were getting
after
week
stuff.
2, but just to dig yourself out of that hole, I think is so huge. And again, to get yourself to claw back up to 500.
Yeah.
If every game goes the way it's supposed to for the rest of the year, if we steal a game that we're not supposed to win, maybe against the Lions or Vikings in the division, or we, whatever, now the playoffs are, I guess, still a viability. And they realistically, they weren't a viability if we would have lost this game. 0-3, your chances of the playoffs, when you have to play Green Bay twice, when you have to play Detroit, when you have to play Minnesota, Baltimore, and Philly, that's just a lot. So, no, I'm again very happy. Now, Justin, we'll both kind of take a swing at this one. Scale of 1 to 10, based on the entire season you've seen from him, 3 weeks, weeks 1, 2, and 3, Vikings, Lions, Cowboys. What is your grade and what is your confidence level in Caleb Williams out of 10?
I would say right now it's a B+. In my out of 10, I give it about 8.5. I don't feel like the issue this season has been I'll say it like this. I don't think the issue has always been Caleb because it's not, even when the times that he wasn't scoring or wasn't getting touchdowns, or some of his passes were a little bit overthrown, they were at least on target. It wasn't like he wasn't completing anything. And honestly, there's a stat line I seen from Twitter last night that I think right now, yesterday's game was 67%. His previous 67% completion rate. I think the one before that was 63, and then week 1 was 60. So he's getting better each time. And I definitely think that with this makes me feel better to say, you know what? I mean, I never had a doubt that Caleb Williams was our quarterback. I knew that from the beginning. But, in year 2, you have to get better. You cannot regress. You cannot have a sophomore slump. You have to be able to get better. So I have high hopes for him. I think the only thing that gets on my nerves is, you still will see him kind of sit in the pocket a little too long for my liking, or sometimes he'll get a little excited and chuck it down the field. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. He skipped a couple balls yesterday too, but I think he kind of settled himself down.
He settled himself down.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. No, I mean, you look at his stats right now on the season, 63.5% completion, 715 yards, 7 touchdowns, just 1 interception, Justin.
Yeah.
Just 1 interception. He's added some on the ground as well. I know he's gotten at least a score there. So I would say I'm with you. I give him a B+ so far this year. Yeah. He hasn't been like, oh my God, this guy's going to win MVP.
Yeah.
But he's been very good. I think he's been very good. First couple of games, I think it was okay, and then yesterday was excellent. So one of my biggest, one of the things that I was most encouraged about yesterday was the deep ball was there.
Yes.
The one to Rome and the one to Luther Burden. And so rarely do you get to see a quarterback chuck it, like just unleash it.
Yeah.
And on that flea flicker, we really got to see just how talented his arm is. And
it was
why
he was the Heisman winner in the first place.
Exactly. And he kind of threw that. He wasn't able to kind of like, step up, drop his shoulder, like unload. He kind of had to throw that flat-footed, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
Perfectly in stride. Maybe Luther Burden slowed down a step or two, but when you're that wide open, just get it to the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was perfect. It was right in his breadbasket. He caught it, touchdown.
Yeah.
So I want to see more of the deep passing. I want to see more of that. I want to see more attacking downfield. Every area, every blade of grass should be a threat for the defense, which I think it was yesterday, especially with a guy like Luther Burden who can take the top off of a defense. So, no, I'm with you. I've always been confident in Caleb. The first 2 weeks did not deter me, and the third week, I won't even say enlighten me because it's what I've believed all along. I saw more proof of it. So, no, I think we're so far through 3 weeks. If we had to stop the season right now, I would say very, very good start for Caleb Williams. Now, we got to talk about our next opponent.
Yes.
The Raiders.
Las Vegas.
The Raiders. All right, so getting into the game, getting into some of the game lines and the over-under. So this line has actually changed. So yesterday when I checked and I was making this graphic, the Bears at the Raiders. Raiders were 1.5-point favorites and the over-under is 47.5. The line now is flipped, Justin. The Bears are now 1.5-point favorites, which is significant because this game is in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Right? So I think the fact that the Bears are favorited against the Raiders, who, let's be honest, have been disappointing this year.
They have.
They've been disappointing. I expected the Raiders, who were now going to have a legit coach in Pete Carroll, a legit quarterback in Geno Smith. I expected them to be not, I wouldn't say knock your socks off good, but like a respectable 8-9 win team.
Yeah.
Yesterday they got blown out by the Marcus Mariota-led Washington Commanders.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And on previous Monday night, they got embarrassed by the Los Angeles Chargers. Geno threw 3 picks. So I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. Genty is yet to pop. Brock Bowers has been a ghost.
Yeah.
Really upset I took him in fantasy. But Justin, I mean, just looking at this game, what are going to be some of the keys to beating the Raiders next week?
Well, I mean, I see it. If I'm Ben Johnson and I'm going to this game, don't think about their previous games. Don't think about the Raiders' previous games, right? Because at the end of the day, they're probably hungry for their first win, and I feel like, yes, they've definitely disappointed this season, but don't forget, I just don't want the Bears to let up. Don't forget, there's Geno Smith. We haven't even talked about Max Crosby.
Yeah, Max Crosby. So, yeah, he's always elite.
There's a lot of household names that are on the other side of this football team that we just have to watch out for. We also have to hope that one of our 3 hurt cornerbacks will come back because that'll be huge. Even though I don't really feel like the Raiders' receiving core is that great.
Well, it's funny. I mean, I agree with you. Trey Tucker yesterday had probably the quietest 8 for 145 and 3 touchdown game ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just kind of all garbage time. But I agree. Their receiving core isn't elite. I think Brock Bowers is a problem. But they really haven't got the ball to Brock Bowers this year so far. That's been very concerning for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. I mean, obviously what sticks out is Genty for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Genty has, I think, yet to really pop so far for them.
No.
I don't know if it's an issue with the offensive line. I don't know if it's Chip Kelly's kind of play style and his playbook and everything like that. I don't know. It's not working in Vegas right now. So if you're the Bears, I think you're right. Some of the keys are to make sure that those trends stay that way. Make sure Brock Bowers isn't killing you.
Yeah.
Make sure Ashton Genty isn't breaking those big runs. Make sure Geno Smith is turning the ball over.
Yep.
Because I love Geno Smith. He's my guy. He can get turnover happy. Now, you saw that in Seattle. You saw that last week against the Chargers. He will turn over the football.
He will.
He'll give you opportunities. So like we did this week against Dallas, I think we need to take advantage of those opportunities. Having some of those guys back would certainly help. Now let's talk about quarterback matchups. I just talked about him. Geno Smith, Caleb Williams. When it comes to the quarterback matchups, Justin, who you like in this one?
I know they say to go with experience, but I'm going with the young gun. I think Caleb is hungry, and I think he wants to be able to come back after winning at home to prove to his fans that he can win on the road. Because eventually, if you want to be a playoff team, you have to get those road wins, and you especially have to get those divisional wins. But I think this is a great first step for our team to kind of see, okay, we can win at home, but can we win on the road? Can we still win in another opponent's stadium?
Yep.
And I definitely think with a team that is still trying to find their identity, I think it's going to be easy I would put more of my money down on Caleb because of a successful game he had last week versus a struggling Geno Smith, who you don't know. I mean, if you don't know if he's going to play well next game. I mean, their first couple of games have been up and down and inconsistent. So there's definitely a lot you have to look for. But I'm taking Caleb in this one. Why not?
Yeah.
House money.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think Geno is one of the most variable quarterbacks in the NFL. He can give you an absolute masterclass, or he can give you kind of a dud. And I know that's a lot of quarterbacks, but I think he especially is very variable week to week.
Yeah.
Last thing before we get into our score predictions, Justin, how do the Bears maintain their positive offensive momentum against the Raiders? What do they need to do?
Start quick and start early. You know, that's what we did it in last night's game. You have to be able to beat the opponent, and not by beating them score-wise. Sometimes it just takes beating them scoring first, right? It's better to score first and defend than you get scored on than you're
Playing
trying to
catch
stop.
up. Yeah,
you don't want to play catch-up. So definitely for me, I think we have to be aggressive and all the way aggressive. Whatever Ben Johnson said in that locker room during halftime to keep that momentum is the same way. It just felt like we were a completely different team, and we kept the momentum even when the game was tied going into the half. That is something that the mindset should still be the same. Like, okay, we're gonna go out there, we're gonna score, and we're gonna try to make the first strike. So I think that's definitely a big thing. We have to score first.
Yeah, starting early, I love. I think I want to run the football better.
I agree.
I think that's, and I'm going to keep harping on it. I think running the football, especially against a team like the Raiders, where they have such an elite pass rusher and Max Crosby.
They do, yeah.
If Max Crosby is just pinning his ears back and hunting Caleb Williams every play, he can break the game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just one of those guys that can break the game. So if you keep him on his toes a little bit, if you're able to run the football, if you're able to have success with it, I think that's going to be a huge key. That'll just make life so much easier for Caleb Williams. And then, like you said, I think, starting fast, obviously, and hitting those big plays. That's something we had not done the previous 2 weeks, something we did in spades yesterday. Hit the big plays. If Rome Odunze is streaking down the sideline, he better be dancing in the end zone in a few seconds. If Luther Burden is crossing up the safety, he better be dancing in the end zone. I want to see Caleb make those big plays. I want to see those opportunities. Ben's going to scheme him up.
Yes, he will.
Maybe not every week it's a flea flicker, but he's got some up his sleeve. So he's always got something. So I want to see us hit those big plays against the Raiders. I think that'll be huge. Also, playing in a dome, so weather won't be an issue at all.
Not at all, no.
But before we get out of here, what a game. Number one. Number two, we got to give our score predictions. Now, Justin, I looked. You took the Cowboys last week.
I did.
And ye of little faith.
Caleb Williams, I was not familiar with your game.
I would just like to point out, on the season, I'm 3-0.
You are.
I said Lions, I said Vikings, and I said the Bears would beat the Cowboys.
You did.
You, my friend, I think are 1-2.
Yes. Yeah.
So
sounds about right.
Not that it's a competition.
No.
But it is. Justin, give me your score prediction for today. What do you got?
Feel a little John Gruden. I feel a little nicey. I'm going to go with the Bears 31-24. I definitely think that, the Raiders will come to play, especially at home. But I definitely think we can be able to stay ahead of them. I think definitely the reason why I have them kind of going in a higher score for the Raiders, I guess that's another small thing is, our defense was great, but we still allowed 14 points on the board for the game versus the Cowboys. They threw it a lot. Dak Prescott still, even with his interception, still had a decent amount of yards thrown. So I definitely think, coming into this, I don't think we'll completely be able to just shut down Geno Smith and he won't be able to throw anything. But I definitely think you're at home, you're home field advantage. I think they'll definitely get some momentum plays going, but I can just see our Bears coming out and winning it. So that way they can be at 500, and my score prediction can be back at 500. That'd be nice. But no, I have Bears winning this one for sure.
Well, Justin, I'm going to have you call me Wendy's because I'm about to go 4 for 4.
Oh!
Give me the Bears again. I'm taking the Bears 24-20. I think that this is a lower scoring game for both teams. I think we talked about the over-under on the score total, 47.5. I'm taking the under on this one. That's a bonus pick. That doesn't count against my record if I'm wrong. But I'm taking the Bears. Here's why. I think they're going to establish the run a little bit more. So I think the emphasis is going to be less on putting up 30-plus and more so on controlling the ball, controlling the time of possession. Now, the Bears didn't win the time of possession against the Cowboys, and that wasn't an issue because they had, so many explosive plays. But I will say I think that they make a more conservative effort to control that clock, to go on those sustained drives, to get Kyle Monangai and DeAndre Swift involved. I think the Bears do enough offensively. I don't think statistically Caleb has as good of a game, but I think just from a pure – this sounds like I'm saying something bad, but as a pure game manager in this sense, he's able to manage the game, manage the clock, know the situation, convert third downs, not turn the ball over. I think that's going to be the game plan against the Raiders. I think the Bears win 24-20. I think Geno Smith plays well, doesn't play well enough. Give me the Bears at 2-2 going into the bye. Then they prepare for Washington Week 6. So this has been another episode of Bears Talk today. Again, this is my favorite episode of the year so far.
Yeah, me too.
This is good. I couldn't wear the cowboy hat. I couldn't do it. It didn't feel right. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a paint my nails on string type of guy.
Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, maybe. For sure. I know we talked about it yesterday, and I ran out of orange nail polish. So maybe if Caleb, should we say it again? If he throws another 4 touchdowns, I got to do it again.
Yeah, Caleb Williams throw 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns. I'll paint my nails again. You caught me off guard. I didn't think you would do it this early in the year, but that's been Bears Talk today, guys. I appreciate all of you guys watching. We're live on ACTV. We're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok.
Yes.
Justin, any closing remarks before we head out of here?
No, just, hey, the Bears won and the Packers lost. That's all that matters,
wait. Yeah, we got to make fun of the Packers.
Yeah, of course.
Dude, how do you lose to the Browns?
I don't know.
What happened?
It's called when Jordan Love actually has to play, when he actually has to play up to his potential, I called it at the beginning of the season. I said,
you did.
I think Jordan Love is a great player, but when it comes to close games and him putting on that pressure, he folds immediately. Yeah. So I think definitely that'll be a concern because it's any given Sunday, right? I'm pretty sure the Packers came in there and was like, "Oh, we're going to beat the Browns." They don't. I mean, it's Joe Flacco.
They were 7.5 road favorites.
Yeah,
7.5 road favorites, and they lost. They lost.
As Micah Parsons says, I can't say the whole word, but, sometimes you just wet the bed. Just and that's what happened.
And they did. And the interception he threw, oh, my gosh, gave me such glee. Me such glee.
Beautiful.
No, but, we couldn't advance without making fun of the Packers. And also, if we're talking about division, have fun with the Ravens tonight, Lions. You guys have fun with that. Yeah. You guys have fun. We're making ground in this division. Look,
we are a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
We're going to be, if the Lions lose, we'll be a game back from everybody. So, still anybody's division.
Yeah.
Bears are not out of it. That was a huge win.
Mm-hmm.
But that's going to do it for us on Bears Talk today. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next episode next week.